All right, guys, welcome to FFLU. Thanks for showing up today. One of the first steps in any business is to show up. So I'll give you guys kudos. Just to start off us off right, I want to share something with you. Some of us know this person that I'm about to share with you is an automatic that they're a superstar. But what you don't know is there is always a story behind the story. I'll show you what I mean. Steph Curry with the shot. 0 to 100.
Stephen Curry, 6'3", 185 pounds, position, point guard. Stephen's explosiveness and athleticism are below standard. He's not a great finisher around the basket. He needs to considerably improve as a ball handler. Often struggles against physical defenders. Stephen must develop as a point guard in order to make it in the league. He will have limited success at the next level. Do not rely on him to run your team. My actions being louder than my words. 0 to 100. Know yourself. Know your worth. I want you guys to consider that. Some of you probably surprised by that, but that's exactly how it was. This is a guy who is a world champion, excuse me, that no one wanted in the beginning, and that's how some of us are. So whatever story you're using that's keeping you from what you want to do, that's exactly the reason that you need to move forward. So I want to give you guys kudos for showing up. And step one, I'm going to kind of explain why. If you want to build a big business, you have to be willing to think bigger first. And I'm going to share with you that with the stories. By the way, I'm going to try to get done in 30 minutes today. So we got some quick things. Thankfully for Abe, Busick is going to be doing our advanced topics. So I'm going to get done quickly and doing it a little differently. We got some brand new people that are on. And so we're going to cover the basics. Again, Vince Lombardi, one of the reasons he said he was so successful is because he always kept it simple. It's block, pass, run, right? If we keep it simple. So we're going to cover the basics, and you're going to discover as you get more and more successful, the key to staying successful is not learning new skills. It's doing the basics better. That's it. And as you get better and better, you'll be able to take off all the junk that's keeping you from doing the basics. So some of you, again, if you haven't thought it yet, you will soon, are going to say to yourself, man, we're going over the same thing. Yeah, I know we are. Because that's the key. That's the actual key of this whole thing. Learning how simple it is and not overcomplicating it. Because the longer you do this, guess what's going to happen? You will start getting fancy and you will start overcomplicating it. So the whole goal is keep it simple. So why show up? Here's the thing. There's two things in business. There's working in your business, which is going to selling, recruiting, dialing, appointments. And then there's working on your business. Here is working on your business. You're going to have to do both. You'll, work in it. But here's what you're going to have happen. You will either get burnt out, or you will lose focus, or you will lose both structure. And you're going to discover, like most people, that you need to actually work on your business. So trust me when I tell you, you need to show up. When I was brand new and something else I did, I thought it was all about just going. I'm telling you right now, if you are into business, you're going to learn there's power in stopping and slowing down to speed up. FFLU is built for you to slow down and speed up. Now, granted, you're going to give some people opportunities. If you're brand new, the first thing you need to do is exactly what you're told. Go buy some leads, dial some leads, run some appointments. But if you've been in the business for longer than a week, you need to be here. You need to be here because you need to work on your business. We don't know what piece of the puzzle, you see a little puzzle down there, you're missing, but it's going to help you get to the next level. Okay, so let's jump into FFLU because this is working on your business. There's just a couple of things we're going to go over, and you're going to be able to tweak yourself to make sure that you are doing this thing right. So as far as FFL, you guys know we are the best in the business. Why FFL? Because like I said, we are the best in the business. Each week, you should be more and more sold. Now, this information, we've been around about 8 years, 618 million paid. Most businesses, again, they're posting numbers about
submitted. That's how they make you think they're doing good. Submitted, meaning business that may fall off, may not. This is 618 million paid. I'm gonna give you another fact. Did you know your IMO, so you are individual agents, some of you are doing more in a month than companies. I'm talking companies that have been around for decades are doing. You are by yourself a big IMO, right? Our organization, we're doing about between 150 to about 200 a month. That's bigger than some companies that are legit, that have been around for a while. So understand, if you were literally extracted and you could be your own CEO, you would be doing more than those companies are, because everyone else is doing fake numbers. We're doing the real deal. We've been doing good for a while. FFL is here to stay. So you're in a very, very cream spot if you had to decide. And some of you don't know, but you should know. Agents make a lot. Just some numbers to let you know that we're doing very, very well. Now, I want you to understand there's a certain club that you want to be a part of as soon as possible. It's called the 30K Club. You start making 30K, IP issue paid, the company will start giving you free money. Not just money extra. Now, I first said, $500, big deal. Now, I'll be honest with you, now that I'm getting $500, if it's missing, I complain, right? It's $500, right? It is what it is. So it's just extra money. Come on, non-charge backable bonuses just for doing what you're doing. This just happened, I think, about 6 months ago, because Sean Mike is always looking to give. And here's his philosophy. If you give more, you always get more. So as you build your business, here's what I want to tell you. Begin with the end in mind. Don't ever build a business about you. That's what Sean Mike did. I want to give you just a quick little tweak. Begin with the end in mind. How? Sean gave people the highest comp he could give them. Highest he could give them. And guess what he did? He worked that made the difference himself, because he knew if I give first, people will come back and it'll help me out. And that's what he did. He didn't do what some people are doing, where they have this huge spreads. 5%, because you couldn't do anymore, right? 5%, that's all he did, because you can't bring anyone in the same level that you're at. 5% and let people go. Now, granted, there is some, after 120, there is some, statistics and some strategies, but at this agency, you shouldn't bring anyone in under 100 and 110%. That's just typical, right? Begin with the end in mind, because if you do that, they can't really build an organization. If you start someone at 100, what do they start someone else at what? 90, right? Before you know it, you got people start off at 80, 85, 70. Come on, start people off high enough at, I would say, 110, so that they can actually build. Okay, jumping in. Here's the promotional guides. Just keep it simple. Do the volume and you move up. Most of you already started as if you were already doing this. So most people here start off at 110% comp. That's just what we do. That means we gave you as if you were already producing $20,000 a month IP. Because we gave you that, some of you, I'll be honest with you, you're spoiled. You don't know any better. You don't know what it takes to come from 80% comp to like 90, work all 6 months, a year just to get that, because you came in at the sweet spot of 110. So don't take it for granted. To get to the next level, what do you got to do? Well, on the left-hand side, you see you got to do 120. Do 20,000 a month. $30,000 a month for 3 months, and bam, you go to the next position, so forth and so on, right? So if you blow past, if you do a blow past 30, you can just skip, by the way. If you do 40 3 months in a row, you skip all the way to 125. You don't got to stay there. You pretty much control how fast and how much you go. The max you can do yourself is 130, where you do 60 grand a month for 3 months in a row. And then the rest, 135, 140, 145, it has to be team production, meaning your organization, they have to have produced, in this case, 300,000. That's issue paid. That means cash, not fake money. 300 grand was paid to agents in your organization. That's huge. Can you imagine? You're a business. I mean, you're funding the economy. It's a beautiful thing to be able to know that you were part of a change like that. So let's jump into it, guys. The 12 core commitments. This is the machine that makes everything go. You can be a high paid salesperson, or you can build a business. Either way, you're going to see the first 6. It's about how to become a fine-tuned machine where your only job is just to go and win the race. But we know that race cars, they don't last very long. NASCAR, those tires, they're gone shortly, right? They're built for speed, not for maximum endurance for years. So the first part will be about how to get yourself up to massive amount of income. Second part will be about how to build a business that's going to last for a lifetime, so that you don't have to push the gas forever. Okay. These are just the numbers. We know they work. 30 appointments a week. That will guarantee, if I had to say guarantee, a ridiculous amount of income. Okay. Guarantee that you're going to be protecting over 400 families a year. Okay. Run 20, because there's always about a 10-20% no-show rate. Again, if you set 30 appointments, it will compensate for sucking, compensate for everything, any skill level that you have a problem with. Okay. Just remember that. Let's go to the 10 core. We have some folks that were assigned and they're going to help us out, because these people are actually doing the deal. Now, I'll start off. First core commitment: submit to the process of 100, meaning go through 100 appointments, no deviation. 100 appointments is the scoreboard, but you're not looking at it, meaning the game hasn't really begun until you actually got to 100 appointments. Before 100 appointments, you're just practicing. That's it. That's it. You're just kind of getting your flow. So here's the deal. You got to commit to 100, whether or not you do well. Once you've committed to doing 100 regardless, that's when you start succeeding. That's when you stop having commission breath. You stop all those things that make you do the things that you're doing that are preventing you from doing it. So what I mean, like, you're nervous. Truth be told, I love what Sean Mike said. When you're nervous going to see a client, the only reason is because you're selfish. Just being real, you're thinking about yourself. If you went there to help the client, you wouldn't be nervous. I remember I was nervous once to go see a client, I forget why. And I was like, wait a minute. I remember what Sean Mike said. I was like, he's right. It's about me. That's why I'm nervous. I'm nervous that I'm not going to know it all. Dude, they don't care. You went there to help them. That's all they need to know. You're going to do the best you can with what you got. And guess what? If you don't know it, guess what we're going to do? Call for help. Are you okay with that? I am. When you go to the nurse, to the doctor, the nurse that checks you in, you ask her a question and she says, hey, you know what? Let me make sure let me talk to the doctor to make sure that what I'm telling you is correct. Are you mad at the nurse? No. You know she's doing everything she can to help. Same concept, okay? So you submit to process of 100 and just don't look back. Commit to it, because once you commit to it, it'll just liberate you. Now, you'll make money along the way, but when you hit 100 appointments, that's when you are, I would say, an expert. You've pretty much met every kind of person. You've gone through different kind of appointments, and you know how to now proceed, okay? Core commitment number 2. Oh, by the way, so we're going to gauge ourselves. Remember, these core commitments, these are meant to help you know how your percentage of success in FFL. If you're committed to doing 100 appointments, regardless, you're in it to win it. Give yourself a 10, okay? Core commitment number 2, invest in leads every week. What that means is you are going to invest in leads. This is I love what Mr. Wonderful said from Shark Tank, your cost of acquisition of clients. It's leads. This is what it is. You got 2 options: go cold market, go talk to strangers, or buy leads of people who are warm leads. They requested information and they're interested. Now, a lead isn't a lay down necessarily, meaning they're not opening up their checkbooks waiting for you to call. Some of them are, normally everyone will get a lay down. You just will, meaning it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you don't stink, right? As long as you can at least just get them the data, get them the information, see what they qualify for, they'll buy. They're just waiting for someone to buy. But most people are warm leads, meaning you have to at least, go through the options and you'll get better and better and better. But the beautiful thing about FFL, if you 30 appointments a week, you will find enough people that are looking for you to not only do well, but do very, very well. Okay. Part-timers, $500 a week in leads. Full-timers, about $1,000 to $1,500 a week in leads. That will reap you. Now, typically you're looking about a 4 times return on investment. So you put in 1,000, guess what you should be getting? You should get 4 at a minimum, right? Now, if you're getting less than that, get with your leadership and we can kind of plan, do review, see what is it you're not doing. Now you'll get better and better and better as time goes on. So you put in 500, so forth and so on, right? So that is the ratio you should be getting, but you got to commit to invest in leads weekly. Don't get in the mentality of, well, I bought leads this week, I got some left, so I'm not going to do it. No, you buy leads every week. That's just what you do. That's just the operandi. That's just what you do. If you don't do it, you're going to screw yourself. So trust us, you buy leads every week. Core commitment number 3, commit to dial days. So I'm going to transfer over to Jihad. If there was someone committed to dial days, it's this guy. He's a beast. The first week he got on board, this guy, I love it. He's a beast. I'm going to tell you the story. He goes to this client's home and the client's not there. And he calls the guy. blew him up. The guy's like, well, I'm not there. He goes, no, listen, I drove all the way here. You need to come back. He was like, wow. The client came back, and he was able to help the guy. But anyway, Jihad, if you could go ahead and share your thoughts on core commitment number 3.
Sure. Well, I love all these commitments because, like as Max said, man, can you guys hear me first of all?
You're doing good.
Everybody can hear me good? All right. So I like all these commitments because they're measurable, and I'm a sports guy. I'm very competitive, and you guys might be competitive too. So I'll tell you 2 things to describe core commitment number 3 and how I approach it, right? In sports, and when you're competitive, you got to give yourself that opportunity, right? It's all about giving yourself the opportunity to succeed, right? If you don't play, you can't succeed. Like if you're standing, I'm not advertising or advocating for poker, but if you're sitting there watching people play poker, right? You're never going to win or lose or do anything if you don't put your coins down and play, right? You got to give yourself the opportunity. And when I got older in life, I started playing golf. Now, golf is a great analogy for this for me, right? Because in golf, every shot, what you're really doing is you're giving yourself the opportunity to hit the next best shot. Because in golf, as you know, you can hit in the trees, you can hit in the water, you can hit in a bunker. So you really got to focus on, hey, I want to give myself the best opportunity so I can get the next best shot and then ultimately have a good score, right? And if we think back to leads, that's what leads is doing, man. It's giving ourselves the opportunity to get appointments. And then if we get in the house or we get over the phone on virtual, and if we get an appointment, you have the best opportunity. That's the only way that we're going to serve a family and ultimately close the deal. And it's anchored. The reason why I love it is it's right between core number 2 and core number 4. Core number 2 is, commit to invest in leads. You can't call anybody if you don't have leads, right? So it's a perfect, trifecta, right? So you got to buy leads, you got to commit to dial days, and that's the only way you're going to commit to the 30 appointments a week. And that's our target, right? And so I'll tell you a little story about how to stay committed. And Mac, cut me off if I'm going too long. But Mac told you guys, man, I started on January 1st, basically this year. So I've only been here 6 weeks. My first week, man, I told Mac, man, listen, I'm going to commit. Tell me what I got to do. And Mac's beautiful, man. I'll tell you one thing. Just listen to Mac. I listened to Mac. Mac said, man, dial, get leads, dial, run the system, and it'll work. And that's what I did. My first week, I made some money. The second week, I made a little bit of mistakes because I was following up on leads that I had before. Mac told me, hey, man, what I do is I don't really, don't try to resolve all your leads, just buy fresh leads. And if you have time, you can resolve. I had a poor second week. Anyway, long story short, I had a good month, right? Then we were all excited, all of us. Remember, Raul, man, we all went to convention, first week of February. We were all blown away, man. So psyched, so motivated. We came back. I was like, man, Monday, we came back on Sunday. Monday, dial day. Boom, I sat down. I think 6 hours, 6 hours dialing, setting appointments. I only had like 5 appointments. Big letdown, man. That whole week, I made 0 money. Think about that. I didn't close anybody. Second week, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, let me really look at how I'm doing on dial day. Am I really focused? Like, so that second week, which was last week, which was this week, actually, this Monday, I said, okay, let me time. I wrote it down 7:30. I'm starting at 7:30. I'm going to do dialing for 1 hour, 7:30, 8:30. I'll dial. I'll take a break, 10 minutes. I think I have the number right here. I dialed 229 leads. I called 711 people. I only talked to 40 of them. I only booked 4 appointments and I closed 1. And I was like, oh my God, man. I mean, it's so tough. And remember, Raul, I put this in the chat. I'm like, man, it's a struggle, but I got to keep going. Something in me, I was like, I got to keep going. And I changed my dial days up. Instead of, the normal structure, which is Monday and Thursday, I said Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to dial, if I'm not getting enough appointments, I'm going to dial Monday for Tuesday. I'm going to dial Wednesday for Thursday and Friday for Saturday. Wednesday, I hit the grind running again. I also added some EverQuote leads. So I did some diversification of leads. And I'll tell you what happened that day, man. That day, I ran 4 appointments. I went into one home. I closed the lady. I closed her husband. There was a friend there. I closed the friend. I was going back at 9 p.m. And I said to myself, man, I can go home. I'm tired. I finally, got a little bit of a break. And I remember I went to a client the Friday before and he wasn't home. He's in construction. I met his wife and she said, hey, come back on Saturday after 3. I called him at 3 because he lives a long way away. I called him, he didn't answer. So I didn't actually go out there. I pick up the phone and I'm debating, right? Should I call the guy? I mean, it's 9 o'clock, it's late. I don't want him to yell at me, but hey man, to run an appointment, that's all you got to do. You got to call, right? You got to make that call. So I end up calling him. I'm on my way home. I'm on the highway. He answers. He's like, oh, thanks for calling. I'm so busy. I'm going to buy some material. Can you meet me in 20 minutes? I'm like, shit. Inside, I'm like, hell yeah, I can meet you in 20 minutes. Turn the car around, go meet him. I close him and his wife, $2,000, $140 a month for him. I think $80 a month for her. End up getting home at 11. Point being, sorry guys, point being is that, it's simple, like Max said, man. We get frustrated. Emotion comes in, highs and lows, but you got to stay steady. You got to believe that, listen, the only way that we're going to make this happen is you got to dial, you got to make appointments. That's why core commitment number 3 is so important. It's the only way that we're going to give ourselves the opportunity to get in the home or get across, virtually from the client. So that's my
appreciate you,
that's
man.
my thoughts
Hey,
on that, man. Yeah.
well said. And it couldn't come from someone that's in the field doing it. It's one thing when you hear, another thing when you do. So as far as dial days, what are they? Well, typically you can do whatever you want to do, but we have 2 days just to help build you structure for your life, for your business. Mondays, typically most people dial to book appointments for Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursdays, people dial to book for Friday and Saturday. Now, like I said, you can do it whatever way you want. But again, this gives you structure. Most people are used to being employees, meaning they're used to being told what to do. So if we just simply say, go do whatever you want, guess what would happen? People be doing this. They wouldn't know anything. So if like you find out with Jihad, he did that. Now he needed to adjust. So guess what he did? Instead of just 2 dial days, he adjusts. He did every day as a dial day. Every morning he would dial for the next day, the next day, and next day. And again, it's working. Sean Mike would tell you himself, if what you're doing is working, don't change anything. If what you're doing is not working, you need to tweak something, right? Maybe you need to work a little bit harder or change a little bit of your strategy, one or the other. But commit to your dial days. Typically, if you are full-time, you're doing 2 dial days a week, or you're doing a dial day every day to book for the next day. Again, I dial those days and I take off Friday and Saturday. Now, there are some people, just a heads up, you will get better. This is in the beginning. You will get better and better and better where you're able to knock out the amount of money you want to make or the IP issue paid numbers you want in a couple of days. There's some single moms you know of who they work Monday, the dial, they run appointments Tuesday, Wednesday, and they've written their 10 grand for the week. They've helped about 12 families, 10 families for the week. They're done for the week. But that's if you're kind of running solo. That's what you want to accomplish. You can do that. But you can also, as you're new, it might take you a little bit longer. So it isn't that way forever. It's just that way like anything else in the beginning. You got to get this car going. And to get the car going, you got to push. And once it's rolling, smooth sailing. I'll be honest, for me, last week, you guys know I did about 13, and I had a lot of it already knocked out in 3 days. So I could have just stood on my laurels, but you just got to keep going. Find new reasons to keep going. And so for a lot of leaders, their goal is 10K a week, 10 families a week. So if you hit 10 families a week, you got 2 options. You can take the rest of the week off, or you can go do something, go help agents, do whatever you want to do. But make your goal, which is a pretty sweet spot goal, is 10 families a week. Really, about 10K a week, 10 to 15K a week will give you that sweet spot. So I'll jump through that. I think we kind of hit that hard. You got to commit to dial days. If you don't, you're out of business. Sean Mike said it, and I keep quoting Sean Mike because he just the epitome of this business. Hard worker, loves people, dedicated to people. If you're not committed to dial days, just quit. I mean, the truth is you're not going to do anything. So why this is for you, not us. Why hurt yourself? Why buy leads if you ain't going to call them? They're not going to call themselves, right? And this committing to dial days, it puts you in a mentality where you are in control of your future. I was so scared when I got started because I was thinking of myself. I didn't know how to do it, or I may fall on my face. But here's what gave me confidence. If I call enough people, there's someone that's going to pick up the phone and there's looking for insurance. So I may be so bad that I couldn't get all of them, but I'm just going to call and I'll find people. And I did that. I just called and called.
and there were people looking and they were so grateful. I mean, I got people that are friends of mine now. They thank me, they hug me. It's a beautiful thing, being able to know that it's in your control. Just dial and you can solve whatever money problems you got. When you dial enough and you create your ratio, you know now what you need to do to replace your income. So maybe for some, hey, you got to dial 300 leads to be able to make a certain number of appointments. And when you figure out your ratio, now you know how much you need to work to get ahead. Isn't that just a liberating feeling versus being stuck, knowing that not knowing? Can you imagine? I know I'm going long for a second. Can you imagine, how women, of course, winning women, they're having kids at 9 months, right? Can you imagine if that woman was going to have a baby and they had no idea how long it would take? Can you imagine that? Some babies, 2 years, like, right? Like, she don't know when it's going to be over. It's like hell forever. That's like, when you don't know what the end is, you're not going to start. So you got to rush after the dial days so you can create your ratio. And if your ratios are not in par with what it should be, then you can tweak it. So we kind of beat that to a pulp. Let's go to the next one. You got to run 30 appointments a week, 30 appointments a week, 30 appointments a week, meaning set 30 appointments a week. It'll solve your problems. What that means is for Monday, if that's your dial day, you book 15 appointments for the next 2 days. So maybe 7 one day, 7 or 8 the next day. And it's about a 20% no-show rate. People, that's just how they are, right? One of the top producers, he says he's never had it where every appointment he set, he did about 10 to 15 or 12 appointments a day. He's never had it where everyone showed up. He said most of the times he was doing 10 appointments a day to compensate. He's never had it where everyone showed up. When a guy he did over 800,000 is having that happen, what do you think, right? And that's never been the case. So just a little heads up, a little pro tip. I book back to back. So when I start, so you got to understand right now, decide and be in control of your schedule. So if you have a big area, I was in Arizona, and Arizona, there's this county called Maricopa. It is huge. It's like almost 3.5 hours long, going from one end to another end. So when you buy leads in that county, you can be in one area in 1 second and another area in another second. So my problem when I started was I didn't buy enough leads. So, and I was just grateful to book appointments. So I would book one appointment in Mesa, which is all the way to the east side. And then the next appointment, I didn't know the geography. And I'd be driving a whole another hour to get to the next appointment, which, hey, I did what I had to do to get started. But when I got better, I decided to take control of my business. So I would say Tuesday, I'm going to book for the east side. Wednesday, I'm going to book for the west side. So when I called, I bought enough leads so that I can decide, hey, when I'm calling the client, hey, I'm going to be dispatched out there on Wednesday helping a few families. And I had this scarcity mentality at first where I was like, oh, well, what if they can't do it that day? It's okay. You are in charge. When you call a doctor's office and they say, hey, we have available this day, and you go, I'm not available. Do they say, oh, okay, well, let's just squeeze you in? Sometimes, but it's very rare. You got to go in when they are available. So what do I say? I say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not available then. And then I try to push, because I've had it. Before I used to just say, okay, I'll get you the next dial day in whatever way. I say, you know what? Let me get you back. I'll give you a call back on Thursday, and I'll see what my calendar is, and we'll get you then. Now, I started to push because that happened once. And a guy that I came back to the next week, he was perfectly healthy. He was a business owner. He drove a truck, him and his wife. They were team drivers. And I came back. He goes, Mac, you wouldn't believe what happened. Dude had a heart attack, healthy as can be. He couldn't renew his license. He lost his business because he couldn't drive anymore. And his wife was devastated. Guys, they had a house payment. Had I pushed it, and maybe he would have said no, but I used to think pushing it, meaning, saying, hey, let's do it today, was me being pushy. No, I really cared about them because he could no longer qualify for the living benefits. Had I got him the week before, he would have triggered to get that cash so he didn't have to sell his house now. And of course, we ended up getting him a policy, but it's definitely not the same policy we could have gotten. That's what made me push. So all I'm saying is control your schedule. Decide early when you run these appointments, because it will make the difference for you. Just take control, assume. Now, when you're new, I know it's but hey, if you're in a place where you don't have to worry what I have to worry about, which is the big county, roll with it. Book those appointments, run 30 to compensate for any skill set you have problems with, and you'll do fine. Sharpen your sword daily. We have all these trainings. Learn something every day. Listen to a podcast. Instead of jamming to Britney Spears, I mean, Tupac, whatever,
Listen to a podcast. Just a little tweak will make the difference. Just sharpen your axe every day. From Facebook, I never was on Facebook, by the way. I hated Facebook. Some of you, if you look back about a year and a half, I was like, I took a hiatus because I just didn't like it. But I get on Facebook now. Guess what I get on for? Because that's where the FFL page is. There's so much good stuff in there. Social media, there's like people just throwing good stuff at you. Take it. Sharpen your sword every day. Now, this is 1 through 5 will help you become a master insurance person. The rest is going to be what triggers your ability to be able to build a business. Okay, you want to do 2 exposures a day. Some of you will say this, you'll hear this, but you won't do anything. Others will take it to heart. All that means is trying, even if you're not successful yet, trying to share the FFL story with 2 people a day. Hey, do you keep your income options open? Hey, have you ever considered doing anything else on the side? Hey, so forth and so on. Just asking the question. It doesn't matter whether they say yes or no. Just asking the question twice a day to the people you know. Because for all you know, people are praying for an opportunity. I know I was. It took me 2 years. Joe kept hitting me. I was in OFA. I was like, nah, Joe, I'm good. And the time was right. Guess who I remembered? I remembered him. And they all came back, right? So 2 a day could be the difference maker. And I look back now, guys, listen, I'm grateful for the income that I was getting and the ability to do what I was able to do. But man, I promise you guys, when I see a guy driving, man, I look back and I'm like with dread, remembering how many hours I had to put in and how little I got, and I couldn't even expand my income. Where now I can put the same number of hours and I can do more in a couple of days than people do in a month. I'm so grateful that someone shared the story. So just remember that you're not sharing it because you need other people. You're sharing it for other people. And last thing I'll say is FFL, their greatest strength is we don't need anybody. We do so well financially that we could be a hermit and we'll be fine. Like you can literally not talk to anybody and you're making a serious amount of income. So quick story. I know I said I'll be short, but I got to hear the story. So I was at the Hall of Fame dinner where people have done over 400,000, and you wouldn't guess who I sat with, right? Brad Allen. This guy, look him up. He's cool. He was the CFO of Washington Mutual before, like the guy that did all the money. Anyway, he got into some practice company, then he got into the FFL. Guess what? He lives in Arizona. Cool thing about it is, he's not really building that much, right? He started a little bit, but this guy he was #1 agent like 3 years in a row, like last year. He's number 6 this year. This guy's so calm and collect. I mean, you wouldn't even tell. He's a nice guy. But all I'm saying is FFL's greatest strength is we make so much as a person, we don't need anybody. But that is also our greatest weakness. Because we make so much, we don't need anybody. No one ever hears about FFL because we don't need anybody. So it takes you from a position of I'm out there needing people to make money to no. When someone says I'm not interested, I'm like, all right, shame on you. In my mind, I'm like, idiot. I'm just being real with you. Like, why would you say no if you do? And I think it's on me because I wasn't good in maybe sharing the opportunity, which is okay. I'm just trying to do my 2 a day, and that's it. So just a heads up, a tweak in your mindset that it's not you going after. You're out there helping liberate people who are working jobs that there is no end in sight. Okay, that's it. Tender builders training every week. This is working on your business, not in your business. I get it. Recruiting, training. Here's the way I see it. In a NBA game, there's a shot clock. At the end of it, not only a shot clock when a team gets possession, but there's a shot clock for the entire game. When the game is over, when it hits 0, and you can't play anymore. When the shot clock goes, and you got to give the possession up to the other team. You have that small time frame to take the shot or to win the game. Think of that in the same sense of FFLU. When Thursday night comes on, you stop everything and you plug in because it's working in your business. Something will tweak. You'll learn something that's going to help your business as you move forward. You need the pit stops. I get it. A race car. Now I keep going back to NASCAR, Indy, whatever you want to call it. It can go around if it wanted to, but it's eventually going to run out of gas, right? Right? So whether or not it hit its mark, whether it's #1 car or number 300 car, it's still going to stop at the designated pit stop.
This is your pit stop every week. Last thing, and I'll move on. The space shuttle, when it goes up, you guys may or may not have known this, but it is actually off track 99.9% of the entire time going to the moon. It literally is off track. The reason the communication devices on the space shuttle are so critical is because they literally are just course correcting the entire trip to get it to the moon. If they lost communication with the shuttle, it would not arrive at the moon because of gravity and all these other things that hit it. It would go somewhere else. This is course correction. It's getting you there, and it's going to be like this. Get used to it. If you think this was going to be a smooth ride, it's not. And part of this is to educate your expectations so you know it's going to be rough, but eventually it will be smooth. And this rough ride will be the best ride you're ever going to have, and it's the best option versus choosing a smooth path that will end you in the ditch. Okay, just to understand, this is plugging in every time. Attend your quarterly training. Oh, I'll go back and I'll share the percentages later. There's a quarterly sales conference every so often. So every quarter. So we have all these sales conferences. What are they? Well, they're these little small pockets where for free, keyword FREE, agents that are doing well take their time to come out and explain to you how they're helping protect 10, 15, 20, 30 families a week, a month. Guys, for free. I remember there was someone I knew from a previous business. I told them, hey, there's a training there, you should go. They said, well, how much is it going to cost? I started laughing. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. You used to be a part of a company that have you pay for training. It's free. You're not going to get that anywhere. Most businesses, you have to go pay. Guys, people in these situations, they can charge hundreds of dollars for them to train you. It's free. You just got to get there. So once a quarter, find a way to get there. It may be maybe a few hours from you. It may take a plane ride, but I'm going to recommend you get there because it's a tweak. And I'm going to say this on purpose because if it was not for a quarterly conference for me, I would not be in the business. I got to a part, I went so fast and I needed a solution to something that I couldn't find anywhere. I asked everybody. They wouldn't give it to me, or not that they wouldn't give it to me. They just didn't have it, or maybe I wasn't ready to hear it the right way. So what happened? Well, I went to this conference and I was literally, I'm saying probably 2 weeks to a month from quitting FFL. And mind you, I'm doing 20 grand a month IP. I'm getting about 15 grand deposits. And so it wasn't a matter of not making money. For me, it was a matter of I couldn't figure out how to get to the next level. And for me, if I don't know how long it is going to take for me to have a baby, I go crazy. I got to have some kind of structure. And I went to this conference and these two guys shared. These guys are doing 60 a month, helping 60 families a month. Come on, guys. And they freely shared. And I was like, man, angels were singing. And I went out and did it. And went from doing 20 a month. Next month, I did 42 or 43. And next month was 58. Just implementing what they said for free. Come on. So make sure you get there. It's a difference of this little tweak. If you skip that conference, you skip that training, you're going to skip that next level as well, because the most important event is really the one that you missed. Number 9, attend a national conference per year. We just went to one. We only have one a year. That's when we get everyone across the country, again, for free. They give you everything they give you. You just got to get there, guys. We did it at a baseball stadium this time. It was huge. Baseball stadium, everything they did was for you. No one else. No one had to pay anything. I keep going back to how much it cost the company. It was millions of dollars, from a baseball stadium to all the audio, to the people, the speakers. I mean, the guy at Shark Tank. Guys, come on, for free. They're only invested in you. So make sure you get there. I don't know where it is. As soon as you find out, make sure you, of course, book your flights. And think big. Book an Airbnb, because you're going to have more people that want to come so that you can have a room for them in that regard. So number 10, personal development. What does that mean? Well, 10 pages a day of a good book, 15 minutes of a good audio. Okay, I'm going to repeat. 10 pages a day of a good book, 15 minutes of a good audio. This is that small daily discipline that will make the difference, to make sure that your mind has the right operating system, so that when you tell you the to-dos, that it's actually done properly. You've seen computers, how they got to defrag, how they get corrupted. This is a computer.
Guys, your brain is a living computer. If computers get corrupted, what could happen to your brain? Think about that. It gets messed up. Again, it's not so much what we do is hard, it's we complicate it. The reason you show up here is to course correct, to get yourself from all the mess, the junk that keeps you from doing the simple stuff that you got to do. That's it. So number 11, find a workout partner. What is a workout partner? Well, workout partner is someone who holds you accountable. Everyone needs one. If you don't have one, find one and get one. And I'm gonna be honest with you right now. Some of you will go through this and look at it. You'd be like, that's nice. Nice little list. Cool. And you'll do maybe 2 of them, which is okay. And you're going to go out and some of you will find some success. Others will not. Some of you will look at it and say, you know what? Okay, I can do that. And you will make it a strategy. Like you will treat this like a real business. I'm going to be honest with you right now. There is no one who would come into a business and spend $100,000 and have a list and treat it as if it's a buffet. I'll do that one. No, I don't like that one. That was too hard. I'll do that one. Come on. I'm telling you right now, if you're looking at this core commitments, look at it like Mickey D's. This is their successful franchises. There is no way you would miss one of them. Or you would at least check it and say, I got to do better on that one. How am I going to do better on that one? If you were approaching this and you're not even thinking in your head, the gears aren't turning of how you're going to implement every one of these, I'm telling you right now, you're already telling yourself what you're going to do. You're not treating it like a business. You're treating it like a hobby, and hobbies cost you money. They don't make you any money. This is being real with you. So find a workout partner. We have a group in FFL Haven group on Telegram. If you're not on Telegram, get on Telegram and we'll get you the link. Find someone in there to hold you accountable, from whether it be the appointments, whether it be the dials, whatever it is, find a workout partner. The last one, be here a year from now. All that means is you commit that, hey, you will do all 1 through 11 and be here 1 year from now. I mean, yeah, I'm being serious. You're planting your flag and saying, I am not going to do anything else. I'm not going to do any other ventures. 1 year I will dedicate to this and I will see myself from now. So, hey, if I'm sucking in a year, I will reevaluate at that point. But I will not do anything else until I put in a good year's effort, which that's legit. That's commitment. Okay. So here's how you tell whether or not you're going to succeed. If you're brand new, you want to know, hey, am I going to succeed in FFL? Here's how you do it. Grab a piece of paper. Get your phone. Core commitment number 1, give yourself a 10 if you're committed to doing it. Number 2, if you have a day that you're going to invest in leads, give yourself a 10. If you're decided you're going to put $500 a week in leads, give yourself a 10. If you're part-time, full-time, if you're going to put $1,000 a week in leads, give yourself a 10. If you're part-time and you're not going to put $500 a week in leads, I don't know how much you're going to put. I'll be honest with you, give yourself a 0, right? I was going to say give yourself a 5, maybe, but no one can guarantee your success if you're not buying leads. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible to start off with, less, but it's not proven. And you're an outlier. Why would you reinvent the wheel when you don't got to, right? If the golden arches served this way, why would you do it differently? Number 3, if you're committed to 2 dial days a week, give yourself a 10. If you're not, if you're committed to 1 dial day a week, give yourself a 5. If you're not committed at all, I don't know what I'm going to do, maybe give yourself a 0. Okay. Number 4, if you're going to committed to running 30 appointments a week, committed to it, give yourself a 10. If you're full-time, part-time 15, give yourself a 10. If you're full-time and you're going to be running less than that, give yourself a 5 on both ends. If you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do, I'm just going to see what happens, 0. Okay. Number 5, if you're committed to daily, you already got it. What podcast or I'm going to go on Facebook and listen to something good about FFL, some kind of training, give yourself a 10. If you're kind of 0. 6, give yourself a 10 if you're committed to doing your 2 a day. Just, again, asking the question twice a day. If you're not, give yourself a 0, okay? So, again, 5 through 1. So 1 through 5, add those numbers up that you just gave yourself and divide by 5. And that will give you your percentage of success in FFL to be able to make some money. That's it. It's pretty simple. The rest, we're going to add it all up. Number 7, if you're committed to attending, give yourself a 10. If you're not,
0. Number 8, if you're committed to going, give yourself a 10. If you're not, 0, right? It's pretty simple. And again, you'll say, well, this isn't one of those deals where you say, you know what, yeah, I'll do it. No. Are you really going to do it? If you're not, just be real with yourself and say, no, I'm not. Just give yourself 0. At least you know the truth versus lying to yourself and say, yeah, I will. Yeah, yay. But you really won't do it. Okay. So give yourself a 10 if you're going to commit to going to a sales conference once a quarter. That's it. Number 9, if you're committed to at least going to the national convention, wherever it is, it could be in Mars. You're going to go. You'll figure out how to go. Give yourself a 10. If not, give yourself a 0. Number 10, personal development. If you're committed to reading 10 pages a day of a good book, give yourself a 10. If you're not, give yourself a 0. And for those of you that have been doing this for a while, it's not if you're committed, it's if you're doing it. I don't care what you tell me that you're going to do it. No. If you didn't do it and you've been in this business longer than a week, I don't care what you say you're going to do. What you tell me you're doing and what you're doing are 2 different things. Okay. If you're not doing it with love, give yourself a 0 because you're not doing it. If you have a workout partner, 10. If not, 0. And if you're committed to be here a year from now, give yourself a 10. If not, give yourself a 0. Again, add all those up, divide by 12, and you'll get your percentage of success in FFL. Now, we want to be transparent with everybody. We gave those numbers last week. Some people were being transparent and they shared how they were doing. Some people had 90%, some had 30, some had 40, some had 50, whatever. So we're going to get this at the end of the whole thing. So I'm going to fast forward. The advanced topic today is actually, you know what? Let me do this real quick. The advanced topic today is lifetime income. But before we do that, I want to give some recognition to some folks here. All right, let me see if I can share that. All right, so far month to date. Whoop, I messed up. All right, so far month to date, we got some guys. Rose, number 2, guys. I don't know what she did the month before. Rose, 18,000 IP so far for the month. Come on now, like, come on, that's beautiful, right? I wish she was here. She couldn't make it tonight, and I wish she could just share what she did. It was just a little bit of a tweak of, you know what, I'm gonna go after it. Kevin out of North Carolina, 14. Lisa, man, if you heard her story out of California, little Lisa, 74. God, come on, guys, it's awesome. Now, you got some others that are doing some things just for time. We'll go through recognition and we'll get a little bit better at it where we're sending it out on a daily basis or a weekly basis. But I just want to give a shout out to those folks that are doing something. So Abe was kind enough to record something about how do you have lifetime income in this business. We have great upfront money, but how do you make sure you're keeping the money that you have? He actually, I just said, hey, Abe, share about 5 minutes. What are some tips? Guy went above and beyond, and he put together this video, and it's like professional grade. And I was looking at it, I'm like, dang, this is good stuff. So I'm gonna get out of the way, and actually he's gonna play it, and he's gonna share. So if you're not taking notes, take notes exactly on how to keep and maintain your income, because hey, it's great that we get paid up front, but it doesn't make any sense if people come through the front door and go out the back door. Now, that said, there is a percentage of folks who are just going to just cancel no matter what. But there is a percentage that you can control based on how you do it. So if you don't hear anything he says, there are only 3 reasons people can't cancel. That's it. A, or number 1, they don't trust you. B, number 2, what you put in place did not solve their need. It really didn't. Or 3, it didn't fit the budget that they had. Those are the 3 main reasons. So I'm going to actually play Abe, and let's see what he got. 1 second here. All right, can you guys see that okay? All right, can you hear that? Everyone can hear it?
Great Thursday today, and have a great dial day to set up the rest of your week here for business. Hope the week's going well for you as well with appointments and apps and getting in front of families and doing ultimately what we do best, and that's making sure the families have coverage in place if something happens to them. So wanted to introduce myself first off. So I'm Abraham Cusick, for those who haven't met me yet. I'm out here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'm so grateful to be a part of the group here with y'all in FFL Haven. Y'all are a phenomenal group. Your energy, your positivity, everything that I see on Telegram just really is good for me to be a part of that group with y'all. I learned so much and benefit from y'all for sure. So I wanted to record something. So Matt and me were talking, and he had asked if I could do a little bit of training on how to write good business and how to keep business on the books. And so I wanted to hop on here real quick and
Can you guys hear us still or no? Can't hear it. Okay. Hold on 1 second here. Let me stop share and let's see what we got. All right, 1 second, guys. All right, I'm gonna do it a little different. Bear with me here. There we go. All right, apologize about that, guys. So while it's loading up, so Abe just shared that for those of you that didn't hear, so I'll fast forward it, that he would be here in person, but he couldn't because he has some things that he has to do with church and a baby, but he's definitely going to be changing things so he can kind of be here. But it's critical that we write good business. These three things, these are the things that he's done that have been the difference maker for him. So take some good notes. Let me jump back and share. There was while it loads up, there's a core commitment that I wanted to share with you guys and jump a little bit more into. Bear with me here. For those of you that are brand new, we didn't get into the why. We didn't get into that document, the phase 1 document. Does everyone have the phase 1 document? Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Everyone has it. Awesome. So that phase 1 document really is the heartbeat of this. If you're ever struggling, honestly, go back to the phase 1 and just go through it again. It'll be the difference maker for you. If you just simply start as if you were a brand new agent, and I'll be honest with you guys. So let me be transparent for a second. This business will spoil you if you actually go all in. If you go all in and you give it about, I would say 90 days, I'll be honest with you, you'll never have to worry about money again. Just being real with you. You'll get to a different level. And what'll happen is you're gonna, let me, how do I say it? Some of us, because I grew up poor, so our temperature, you know how a temperature gauge is set at like 75, and so when it goes below that, right, what happens? It kicks on, right? Some of us, our financial temperature gauge has been set so low that we self-sabotage ourselves. Meaning, if you're used to making 30 grand a year and you start making 60 grand a year, I know it's crazy. I know. You will start doing things that will purposely get you back to 30 grand a year because your temperature gauge was set at 30 a year. And you're like, wow, I can't be making all this money. I got to do something. You stop showing up for work. You start getting lazy. You don't want to go out. Like, how did that happen all of a sudden? Because your gauge was set. So one of the reasons that you got to do 10 pages a day of a good book, sharpen your axe, it's to increase your temperature gauge so that the money you're making, you keep making it and you don't feel unworthy. You don't, all those things that you don't get that are happening behind the scenes, that it doesn't happen. It's almost like taking your pills for success. I'm just being real. You take your vitamins every day. These are your vitamins for success. So I'll be honest with you. There was a time when, I mean, it was only a few months ago, I wasn't doing my PD. I mean, I read out the books. It's not about that you've been there or you've heard it before. It's about what is it doing for you now. And I promise you, guys, I got kind of, I don't know, I just got casual. I just got so used to doing 20-30. And I was like, why go out? Like, right? Yeah, I mean, like you're thinking like, I'm living a life where it's like incredible. I'm like, I don't want to go out today. I mean, and I had, how does that happen? It isn't as if I've accomplished all my goals because my gauge was off and I was kind of sliding back. So you're never going to be, you just, when it comes to life, you don't ever stay still. You're either going up or you're going down. So I know it's a slight edge thing. There's a book called The Slight Edge that you guys got to listen to if you haven't, but you got to do your 10 pages a day. If you're going to work, listen to it, put the audio in. If you're just sitting there, maybe on the throne, right? Hey, I'm being real with you. Read something. If you can't find any time, it isn't like extracurricular. I'm telling you, this is what you need. Otherwise, you will be in trouble once you hit the success. So give it 90-day push and your money situation will be solved typically. And I'm talking the money you make, you put it back in your business. The money you make, give it 90 days. I'm telling you, look at Jihad, man. I mean, come on, 90 days and you won't have to worry about it. So anyway, let me see if, oh, it's almost done. There's another thing I was going to share. Let's open up, guys, while this thing is probably going to take 2 more minutes. Let's open up for some questions. I know some folks are going through some stuff. We're good talking about lifetime income, but some questions that maybe another FFLU would take care of, but you've been in the mix. For those of you that have been in the field, throw out some questions. Anything that happened, objection, concern, whatever it is. And I say it purposely that if you haven't been in the field, you're going to learn it. Everything, the only thing you got to worry about if you haven't been in the field is buy leads, dial leads, run appointments. That's all you got to worry about. If you've been in the field, you're encountering new problems, and those are the problems that we want to hit right now. So hit us. Jonathan, Raul. All right, if no one's going to hit us, I'm going to give you a pro tip. I kept remembering trying to share this. I kept forgetting. When you are doing a telesale and it comes time to get the payment information. Now, I do this every time because I'm just so used to it. There's a right and wrong way, or there's a seamless approach and there's a hard approach to get the financials. The way I do it is, okay, hey, which bank are you going to be using to pay for the policy or fund the policy? And they say, Wells Fargo. Excellent. Did you open that account in Minnesota, Chicago, or Illinois, North Carolina? They say, yeah, perfect. You go to Google, you Google the bank, Wells Fargo, Illinois routing number. Because as long as a person opened the account in that state, the routing number is the same for every client of Wells Fargo in that state. It gives you a little credibility. So what you say is perfect. And I say this just seamlessly. So I say, what account are you going to use to fund the policy? Wells Fargo, perfect. Did you open that in Illinois? Yeah, perfect. All right, our system's gonna verify the routing number for you, and we'll just have you verify the account number, okay? Perfect. And I Google it, and I say, okay, I got the routing number of 124-222-845. They're like, how did you know that? Well, you know, it gives you that legitimacy. They're like, yeah, that's correct. And then I say, perfect. Go ahead and verify the account number for me. And like butter, like, oh, 4, 5, 6. They're like, oh, he's official. He already got half of it. Might as well give him the rest, right? Not that that's like a ploy, because you were going to need that anyway, but it just makes people feel a little bit more comfortable because you're legit, right? You got the information. Again, it's just one of the seamless ways to do it. Now, you back up. Remember, in the beginning, you need to let people know up front. If they say no to this, then don't do it. I tell them up front, we're going to need 3 things. We're going to need just your driver's license information to make sure you're a good driver. Second, we're going to need your social to check your health records. And third, once we find something that fits your budget, we are going to need a routing and account number to put on the application so we can submit to see if you're going to get approved. Is any of that going to be a problem? If there's an objection, you want that upfront. There is no bait and switch here, none of that. Listen, oh no, I don't want to get my account number. Oh, really? So tell me about that. And if you can overcome that, then move on, move on. And I just want some quotes. Really? Okay, so tell me about that. So what were you looking for the quotes for? Oh, to protect your wife? Yeah, I'm sorry. So quotes won't actually pay a death benefit, right? My job is to actually help you get qualified for something so that it actually pays. That is what you were looking for, right? When you praise it that way, you're like, yeah, that is what I was looking for. So yeah, in order to do that, here's what we need. Is that going to be a problem? I guess not, right? So get all the objections out up front so that you can just have a seamless ending, not the other way around where you're like me. I learned from my error. 45 minutes in the appointment at the end. Hey, let me get the account number. Oh, I don't feel like it. Or, hey, we got to do that today. Oh, yeah. And then you battle that and then you wasted all your time. So just remember that. All right. So Abe is ready. Let me go ahead and share this screen real quick. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit so we can kind of get to where he was. So give me a second here. All right. And please, guys, unmute and let me know if you hear him or if you don't hear him, because we want to make sure we can hear this guy.
What's up, FFL?
All right, can you guys hear him?
Family? Hope y'all are having a great Thursday today and you had a great dial day to set up the rest of your week.
Yeah, awesome.
I think
right.
I think the audio is coming from your mic.
Oh, you can't hear him? No? Dang
Like
it.
we
All
hear
right,
him,
hold
but
on.
it's coming through you. Instead of
Oh,
through
I got you. Okay, give me a second, guys.
Mm.
We're getting better every week. Just forgive me. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Go to Zoom. I'm gonna change the audio preferences. All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna unmute. All right, Raul, is it playing seamlessly or is it a little choppy?
Nothing's playing right now.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, you guys are so patient, man. I appreciate you guys. There's one story I'll tell you at the end, but it was about showing up and what it means to build a business. I knew that I could never actually build a business if I wasn't willing to show up. It's like if you're not willing to be the last to show up to clean after all the stuff is done, good luck. If you're waiting until that comes and then I'll do it, it ain't gonna happen. It's just being real with you, it ain't gonna happen. All right. All right, let's try this one more time.
What's up, FFL Haven family? Hope y'all are having a great Thursday today and you had a great dial day to set up the rest of your week here for business. Hope the week's gone well for you as well with appointments and apps. And
okay, cool. All right.
All right. All right. Hopefully y'all can see that okay. But I wanted to do a real quick training on keeping business on the books, or you can even title this How to Write Good Business so it stays on the books. If you can get good at this one thing, it will change your profitability in the business. You'll be making more policies stay on the book, so less chargebacks. So that ultimately means more money for you as the agent.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight what he says just for time. And he had some key points in what he said. So let me just highlight it and we'll just kind of go from there and we'll hit it. There is 4 points. First things first, if someone does not, or whoops, if someone cancels, it's because they didn't trust you. How is it they don't trust you? Well, he pretty much broke it down. You were inauthentic. They're actually buying you, not the policy. Just keep that in mind. When we go into a house, we sell on value, not price. I don't care if they said that they got the biggest, baddest. You're selling on value. So if they say, I got this, perfect. I'm just going to see what they need. And if they're good, they're good. By the way, insurance isn't one of those things where you just get one of them. It's like a tool belt. Do you only have one hammer, one screwdriver? I don't. I got tools. Insurance is a tool. So the question is, does the tool that they have right now fit their need? And some of their needs change. Maybe when they got it, they needed one thing and so forth. So you always go to just investigate, get the financial inventory. Abe also said that you need to be authentic. Don't go building fake rapport. Oh, you know, that's a cool car when you don't have anything to do with cars. Come on. Like, I don't build any rapport personally. Just be authentic, because if they sense that you are being fake about rapport, that's you lying. And if you're fake about that, what else are you gonna be fake about, right? So just be just sincere. Relational versus transactional. Are you just making a transaction, or are you trying to actually solve a problem? If you just go in there, wham, bam, thinking, man, just boom, boom, then you're just a transaction. Are you someone that they can trust, that if they die tomorrow, that you would actually come and deliver the check to their wife, their husband, their daughter, so forth? You got to have that relationship and build it. Make sure that they know that you are there for them, not just a check. No commission breath, right? You got to be an agent of value. If you don't give any value, it's a problem. I'm always so every time you're going to have a lay down, I always see, how can I add value? So if it's someone that just has a check strapped to their forehead, they're just looking for someone to sell them insurance, I ask more questions. What can I do to bring value? So, I mean, the neighbor could have showed up. If the neighbor had an insurance license, they would have bought from their neighbor or some random stranger. How can I be different? Maybe you say, hey, have you gotten your will done? Or hey, does your daughter, do I have your daughter contact information? Maybe the way you build value is by getting referrals. You think it's for you. No, it's for them. Hey, who can I help like I've helped you today to make sure that they don't have to worry about a burden on them? You find some way to add value to their life, because that's going to be a difference maker, whether you're getting a check or whether you're actually bringing them value. Posture. He says, you're not a licensed agent. Truth. Here's the truth. You know more than anyone else does. There's some people who are trying to act like they know more than you. They don't. You got the license. You got the background check. You have to have that posture. I've had people say things like, "Oh, this is how it is." I'm like, "Well, okay, hold on." I say, "Hey, so you remember you were a firefighter, right?" Yeah. Would you say you're pretty good at your job? Yeah. So if I was kind of trying to tell you what firefighting was like and how it should be, what would you say to me? I say, you don't know what you're talking about. So can I respectfully tell you that, listen, I have the license, so can you let me do my job? Sometimes you got to like be upfront with people like that. Like, listen, let me do my job. You do you, I do me. All right. And when you put them in their place, they're like, whoa, it doesn't happen very often. But again, have posture, and that will allow you to be able to do better. You want number two. So if they didn't trust you, that's one reason that they'll cancel. Second thing is, are you presenting or are you consulting? Presenting is just going through the stuff. Consulting is going through the financial inventory. The financial inventory is literally you're seeing what their needs are. The key to an appointment is how good your questions are. That's it. Do you ask good questions? Not just, okay, how much do you need? Okay, so let's say someone says they want to be cremated, and cremation runs $3,000 to about maybe $8,000 to $10,000, right? And you only quote them $3,000. You only quote them $10,000. Guys, you didn't serve them. Did you ask, hey, who will be the number one person quarterbacking this? Who will be the number one person in charge of picking up the pieces when you pass? Oh, your son? Is your son local? Oh, no, he lives in Arizona. Okay, so he's going to have to get off work, take time off of work, travel, and he's obviously not probably getting paid much during that time. And he has a family to feed. So we want to compensate for that too, right? Or you want to help them with that, or just the final expenses? Oh no, if we want to help them, yeah, let's help them with that if we can. So you see what I'm saying? From the basic 3,000, they don't need you. Their whole goal of getting this coverage was so that they wouldn't put anyone out, right? Are you really serving them? If all you did was just get them the 10,000, the 5,000, it's not about you, it's about them. Or hey, how many grandkids do you have? Oh, you got 3. Now again, some people, if they can, they can. If they can't, they can't. They want to leave a couple thousand for their grandkids. How much would you like to leave for your grandkids? 1,000 each. Okay, so it went from 10,000 to 13. You see what I'm saying? Serve them. Are you presenting or consulting? Here's another situation. I've had people come and ask me for mortgage protection help. I look at the financial inventory. I get the data. I see, hey, how much does this person bring in? How much do you bring in, Bill? 10,000 a month. Okay. How about your wife? She brings in what? 3, 2? Oh no, she brings in nothing. Okay. And you start assessing the situation, or better yet, the wife brings in 10,000 as well. And I see the situation. I'm like, okay. Or better yet, here's a real scenario. Husband brings in 4,000 from disability from the military, and he gets an extra 1,500 from Social Security, right? If he died, and it doesn't always work this way, that transfers to the wife, 100%. So she would be good. The mortgage is only $1,200 a month. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, So let me get this straight. If you pass, she would get that 4,000, 5,000, and she would get your Social Security. Lose hers, but get yours. So she's probably sitting about, you know, 5, 6 grand a month, and the mortgage is only 1,200 bucks. You know, food isn't very much. I mean, her expenses are low. So I say, okay, so Bill, if I'm seeing this right, you guys don't really need a big life insurance policy. You guys want one, right? They're like, yeah, that's true. So let's back up here. All we need is just a little window protection. We don't got to pay your mortgage off. We don't have to need this big policy because she's good with your money, but it might take some time to get that money. So all we need is a couple of months of coverage, 6 months of coverage, maybe of house payments versus a $100,000 policy, right? Right? You guys see what I'm saying? So you're consulting them, not just presenting what you need. And if you ask the right questions, you're going to solve it every time. Show them solutions, not options. He has on here, options are for buying cars and houses. Solutions are for solving real people problems. The question is, do you show people options or solutions? So there are 3 solutions here. I call them options, but they are really solutions. But when you're talking about the options, here's how you make sure that people don't cancel. You don't just list the prices. You say option 1 is to take care, this is the platinum coverage, it'll take care of X problem. Option 1 will not only cover the burial, but will also leave money for the kids. That's the biggest amount that they'll cover. That's if you don't have any money issues and you can max out, okay? Option 2 is what we recommend. It'll take care of the burial and it'll leave just a little bit. Option 3 is the minimum. It'll just take care of the burial. You see how I went from saying 10,000, 15,000, and 20,000? You see how those options had lives? Option 1 was just the basics. Option 2, you see what I'm saying? So when they think of that monthly payment, it isn't just that money. It means the basics. It means burial and a little bit, or it means the maximum. I'm gonna leave my kids this. So that $130 a month, that $230 a month, that $400 a month, when it comes out and they see it, it's a blessing and they don't see it as a burden, okay? Another one, talk them down. So someone says, hey, I want the max coverage. Here's what I do. I used to say, yeah, you know, well, not really. I didn't really care, but I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a good commission. But I say, listen, all right, Bill, sometimes our heads are bigger than our hearts, or our hearts are bigger than the heads. Let me ask you this question. I'm not looking to set this up where, you know, a month or 2 months, that's good, but then 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years on the road, this is a burden. We don't want that. So let me ask you this, Bill, if the water heater broke and you got 2 flat tires, same day, would that price point give you any anxiety whatsoever? And if they say yes, I literally get the pen and I X it out. I said, let's just not even talk about that one. We can always upgrade later. Let's just stick to this one. Is that okay with you, Bill? They say, sure. So let me ask you the same question. Water heater breaks, you get 3 flat tires. Would this give you any anxiety? No, I can handle that. Are you sure? Are you sure? Because again, I don't want to be, and again, facts tell, stories sell. I don't want to be in a situation, Bill, where your lovely sweetheart calls me because she didn't know something happens to you, which just has happened. And I tell her, you know, I'm sorry, I can't give you anything because Bill stopped paying the monthly payments. I'm sorry. You know, we don't want that, right? So, and you say something like, I mean, so you see what I'm saying? You talk them down to make sure that what they got now is what fits their budget for the future. And let them call you and say, hey, Mac, within 30 days, listen, hey, Mac, let's go ahead and increase it. I'm feeling comfortable with it now. Let's go to the max. I think I can handle it. Let them sell you on how they can handle it, not the other way around. Makes sense? Anyway, reach out for help if you're having people cancel. By the way, about 20% of people will cancel no matter what. So 80% is about normal, 70% about normal. If you have more than 20 to 30% canceling, you're trying too hard, way too hard. You're pushing. I discovered that early in the business. I got good at helping people jump because they should. But guess what happened? I started having these cancellations. I never went underneath 70. Maybe I went 65. And I realized, here's what I realized. It was actually more detrimental to me than it was even just not even taking the money. And here's what I mean by that. The time it takes me take a phone call a company, cancel the policy. Man, it would have been better not to even go there. So if a person doesn't see value, now I don't even go there. Now, not to say I'm not going to fight for the family. I'm gonna fight. They would say I want to think about it. No, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight for them because I'm fighting for the wife. I'm fighting for the son. But if you're still wishy-washy, I'm not gonna do it, right? I rather just make sure that you see the value, and then we can come back, right? Now, sometimes when you push, people do stick with it. Not saying you shouldn't push, but you guys will get good enough where you can sell them, but we're not selling. We're really just consulting, right? That makes sense. Here's a great example. When you go into let's say a shoe store, Payless Shoes, which is what I used to go to, Marshalls, Ross, and let's say a Nike store. You go to the Nike store, walk in. The guy says, "Hey, can I help you?" You go, "No, I'm good." And he sees you looking, and he comes back, "Hey, is there any questions I can ask? I can help answer." You go, "Yeah, tell me about these shoes. I'm looking for this." He goes, "Oh yeah, this is the one you want here." You go to the counter. You buy the shoes. Here's my question to you. How much did that person really sell you? You came to the store looking for shoes anyway. Did he really sell you? Or did he just take an order that you already had anyway? You see what I mean? But if you're at the counter and he goes, "Hey, you came in for these shoes, but here are these shoes that are super expensive, but they're so cool." And he upsells you on shoes, he didn't really get your need, right? The only reason you would keep those shoes he sold you would be if it really solved the need that you had that you didn't know about. But if it didn't solve your need and your budget was really $200, or hey, you had a need for $300 shoes, but your budget was $100, guess what you're going to do? You're going to cancel. You see what I'm saying? You got to see the need and be sensitive to the budget as well. Anyway, last thing he said was, where is it at? It didn't fit their budget. Again, leave your wallet in the car. I don't even consider commissions. I don't even care what someone gets. I'm literally looking at the client, seeing what their need is, what they can qualify for, and I'm serious about helping them get qualified. After the fact, great, you got served. But just remember this: the client got more in use value than you're ever going to get in cash value. We get paid big money. As big as it is, they are getting more in use value than you're getting in cash value. If it's any different, you're messing up somewhere somehow. Okay. So remember those three things. If there's ever a reason why, if you're getting, again, just remember when you get your commissions, just consider 20 to 30%, it's going to cancel. It just is. Now, there are some people that have 90% rates. I mean, it's awesome. And it's not because they're taking extra time. It's because they're doing small tweaks that you are overlooking that they do. Some people, they are finding the names of the beneficiaries. They're saying the beneficiary's name over and over and over. So if you don't say the name of the beneficiary 5 times at a minimum in the appointment, you messed up. They're doing that. Before they leave, they help them get their will questionnaire done. I think I have one. Let me see if I got one here. I'll grab one for you guys. Let's see. Perfect. Here's one. This is not the America one, but this is one we'll use for now. Every company has a final wishes planning guide. Order one. It's for free. I order the America ones, and every client gets a final wishes planning guide. I say, "Hey, do you have a will?" "No." "You know what? I'm going to take care of that for you today." Okay. And I go through, I say, "Listen, this is the most of all the things we've talked about. This is the best part of the whole thing. Because listen, when it's the worst day of the life of your kids, your wife, your son, your daughter, the last thing that they need to be doing is shuffling through paperwork. Last thing. We want to make sure that it's just easy for them. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to leave this with you. Can you make me a promise, Tish? Would you please, Bill, Joe, Jack, make sure you just take 15 minutes to fill this out. Okay. Here's what that is. Just put in your thoughts, and it goes through. You'll put in your bank account numbers. You'll put in me as your agent, your life insurance policy number, and then you'll put your contact information of who you want to contact, and then you're going to go to a bank and you're going to get this notarized. And as soon as you get it notarized, guess what happens? It becomes a legal document. It will serve as your will like that. Isn't that awesome? They're like, yeah, oh, wow, that's awesome. People have been thinking about that, right? Guess what you just did? You added value to them. I'm talking real value, so that when so you say when you're done, tell your daughter, tell your son, hey, if anything ever happens to me, I want you to grab this little booklet that's right here. I've had people who even had trusts. I give this to them too, because who wants to go through all these documents in a trust? Do you? I don't, right? It's right here. So again, these small things I'm saying, so people that keep the high persistency, they do small tweaks. That is what makes the big difference. They see the names and all that stuff. So you'll learn as you go, these small things, but the best thing you could do is care about them. One thing that's huge, do annual reviews. Call your clients after a year. Make sure it's, they're so good, everything's so great. Hey, what needs do they have, right? Actually book an appointment, review their policy, because things change every year. Make sure it's up to date. People retire. There's so many opportunities in your review. So guys, that's how you maintain lifetime income, is first by keeping in mind, you're not just doing a transaction. This is a client for life. Guys, here's what I tell people. I'm probably the one that's going to be delivering the check. And I just stay silent for a second. I mean, think about that. You are the one that's going to be delivering the check. Now, you don't have to, obviously. They can just send it to the customer. They'll give you the option. Either it comes to you as the agent, or you go deliver it to them. But it's probably going to be me. You're going to be at least the one that's involved in getting the death benefit, right? They'll call you. So I want to make sure that we're set. If that's the case, they are now family. They're not just some kind of client. They're family to you. So remember that as you go through, how would you treat family? And if you just remember that, everything will fall in its place. Now, we're going to end. It was a story I want to tell you. I forgot now, but let's throw it back at you guys. We got, I don't know, 4 minutes, 6 minutes. Any questions, concerns, thoughts, challenges that happened this week that we can throw at the group, not just at me, at the group?
One question I have for you is what changed your mind to be more upfront and direct with people, like how you were saying, or what helped you get to that point?
So you're asking what changed my mind? Why did I switch to be more direct in the beginning versus being sheepish in the beginning?
Yeah.
Part of it was my confidence increased. And I'll be honest with you, the biggest part was I got really frustrated at people who, I want to say, wasted my time, but who weren't really serious about protecting their family. I realized that there are people that are dying every day that if they're not serious, I would be better served just going to another family. It just made more sense. So I valued my time more. At first, I was like, I need to go help people to make money. It was about me. But as time went on, it was really about them. And the truth is, if they're not, and I got better at asking good questions. So part of it was, I didn't know if they were saying no because I sucked, or if that's how it was. But I found out that there are certain questions I needed to ask in the beginning. And as long as I was asking those questions, it's not about me. It was because they weren't serious about protecting their family. And if they're not serious, then there's nothing I can do. That's pretty much how it kind of went down. And so I just hit it, and it saved me some time. Speaking of, let me answer this about booking appointments. A little pro tip: you book back to back. So in addition to knowing what your schedule is, I book, well, for example, when I book an appointment, I say, hey, I have some time between, let's say I was starting from noon down, between 12 and 1 or between 1 and 2. What works best for you? I say purposely between because it gives me a little leeway. So let's say I booked the guy for 12 and 1. My next appointment, I'll say I have some time between 1 and 2 or between 2 and 3. What works best for you? Book 2 and 3, so forth and so on. So here's what happens. I go to my 12 o'clock and that guy is solid. We take an hour. I'm done at 1. I'm late. But expect about 30, 45 minutes between appointments for drive time. But I'm not really late because what did I say? I said between what time and what time? 1 and 2. I'm not late. So, but here's on the opposite side. If I book an appointment 12 to 1, 1 and 2, If the guy at 12 is a dud, he's one of those jokers who, oh, I just wanted quotes. There's no one that, come on, no, there's not, no. And we tried to overcome it, we couldn't. I leave. I can then show up early to the next one. Right? You can. Because the truth is, you can show up. I say you can normally show up about 30 minutes early to appointments, and they don't know any difference. They really don't. Very rarely they say, oh, you're supposed to be here at 1:01. They don't ever say that. Just show up early. And here's what happens. Even if I was late, so let's say I'm late from I go through the one at 12 to 1, and I get to the one at 1 o'clock at 1:45. Now I'm late the whole time, but here's what always happens. What did I say? Not everyone shows up. There will be a no-show somewhere where it'll auto-correct the whole thing, and then you'll be back on track. So the 3 o'clock doesn't show up. So guess what? Or the 2 o'clock didn't show up, and I'm back on track. I take 30 minutes to drive to the next one, and I'm on time for my 3 o'clock. So book back to back to back to back to back, and you will never have trouble. No trouble at all, because you're either going to leave early, get there, or you'll give yourself the leeway to be able to book. But no, good question. It saves you time, and you're able to serve more families, and you have more posture, because I mean, you're not there to be played with. The reason you take that junk from people is because you don't consider yourself a professional, and do not let them not treat you like one. You came there to do a job. You need to do your job the right way, and you can't with them dilly-dallying. I think of it this way: if you were a professional doctor and you took someone's in your room, and they know they got a problem, they're gonna die, and you say, hey, you're gonna die, but I got some way to fix it. And you have this needle, you just went all of a sudden, and I know this is a weird example, you just poke them in the butt all of a sudden. They're like, what the? The needle is gonna solve their problem, right? But what happened? You were too abrupt about it, right? You just all of a sudden grabbed them and you just poked them, right? Versus saying, hey, listen, you got a disease, it's pretty fatal, but don't worry about it. We have a solution. Is this needle? It's gonna hurt, but it'll hurt for about a minute. But if we do it now, you will live. Now, isn't that much better up front? The doctor told you everything's gonna happen up front, right? You see what I'm saying? So be a professional. No, there's no doctor that's gonna surprise you with a pill. So don't be unprofessional and just throw things on people all of a sudden. Tell them what to expect. That's how professionals do it. Be a professional. Does that make sense? So I became better at being a professional. That's kind of where it comes down to. And if they were weird about it, I'm like, that's weird. I mean, you don't go to a bank and they say, hey, can I get your social? Oh, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know where you're gonna be, who's gonna use it. You're like, really? You came to a bank. Why would you invite me to your home? How else am I supposed to do my job, right? If you explain it well, they're gonna get it. But if you're weird about it, if you're nervous about it, they'll be nervous. Don't be weird about it, they won't be weird. So long answer, short question. But yeah, any other questions? All right, Jihad. Hey, Raul. Great job.
Can I ask you?
Go ahead, Tish.
I purchased some leads last night after midnight, and I was looking at the addresses. How can I break those down so I can call by zip code if I'm booking my appointments?
Great question. How many leads did you get?
I purchased about 60.
Okay. So great question. I had the same question. So the easiest way to do it, I'm going to have Anna connect with you because we have that same issue. Here's the better way to go about it. I believe because zip codes are weird, it was better going by city. So you need to export the leads, put them in an Excel spreadsheet, and you're going to highlight all of them, and you're going to organize it by city. Because I don't know about you, but in my city, I'm in the same city, but 2 different zip codes. That's happened, right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if you do it by city, it'll then do it that way, where you're just calling. That is a better way to do it because you don't want to be, mixing and matching. You'll call all of them at one time and then bam, bam. But there isn't a perfect way to do it. You are going to run across it. I don't know how big from is your county from one end to the other.
It's really pretty big. I'm gonna have a 30 to 45 minute drive in between. So okay. I was so freaked out about it that I was like, I didn't make my dial day this morning because I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so I need to know, you said export it out and put it in an Excel.
Yeah.
Then I can split it up that
And
way.
you can organize it. Yep.
Okay.
I'll have reach out to Anna and ask her, just tell her, hey, Max said you can help me organize my leads by city, and she will help you with that easily. Once she shows you, she'll probably get on a Zoom with you. Once she shows you, it'll be easy. Real easy.
Thank
right?
you so much.
No, but by the way, though, you should expect about a 30 to 45-minute drive between appointments.
That's fine.
That's typical.
That
is. It is what it is. And don't overcomplicate it. Trust me, if everyone was literally saying yes, then you might have a problem. But the truth is, when you're calling, you're not going to have everyone say yes like that, because this is sales. So it's really a non-issue. It just really is. So the truth is, just being real, you're looking into it more than you need to. Just really pick up the phone and dial. And hey, if it was between organizing it and not dialing, right, and having it unorganized and dialing, I would rather you just dial unorganized, because that's what's going to be the key to get you in motion. When I first started, I told you I did the same thing you did. I just dialed, and I was going I was going from Mesa to Buckeye to it was crazy. I was making money, but I was beat. But if I had to look back, if I hadn't, it was better that I did that than just sat still, because ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice.
okay.
You just be real. So it's better that you go and do it as organized as you are than not do anything. Just being real.
Okay.
Yeah, but if the numbers are right, 60 leads, you look at it, 25% answer rate. I mean, probably going to get 6 to 10 appointments, give or take. So I mean, even if all you had was 6, you could make that. You can drive left and right with that. Big deal. You know what I'm saying? If you had like 300 leads, now we're talking. Now we need to organize. But with 60, you're good.
Okay.
You can start running with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Good question. Good question. Any others? All right. Hey, guys, Bill, brand new, getting started. He's a guy he used to work with me in the oil field. He was in my crew. We slated together. So it's always cool. Jihad is oil field, so he has a little background as well. So you'll be seeing Bill on the group trainings, and he's been at it for a while. So I always love seeing a fellow guy get out of the rat cage. So I'm excited for you, Bill, coming on board. So yeah, guys, any questions? Of course, you guys are doing great in the Telegram group. The hope is everyone to help each other. And I think everyone is doing awesome, not only keeping it positive, but providing value, adding a little bit of fire instead of just getting a little bit of the heat, but they're adding a little bit of a stick to make sure it keeps burning. So I appreciate everyone doing that. It'll only get better and better and better as it grows bigger. Looking for a couple of things. Well, let's close with this. Your percentage, Raul, what was it last week? And what is it this week? So everyone start calculating your percentage from the 12 core.
So my percentage was about 60.
Okay.
This week it's at 83.
There we go. See, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. But how did you know it would be 83? Because you knew you were at 60, right? Yeah. All right, Tit, it's all you.
I was a horrible 35%. I'm at a 55%.
There we go. I love it. Well, what did you say last week? You would not return at 35%.
That's right.
Good job. Great job. Jihad?
Last week I was 83. This week I'm 88.
There we go. Even if it was 84, just little by little. So make sure you get your percentage, guys, because that's the only way you're going to grow. So you know what you will be getting next week. So Bill, hope you wrote yours down. Next week, well, what is yours? I guess, he's not finished contracting yet, but hey, based on what you saw today, what is yours?
I'd say right around 80.
Okay.
80.
There we go. Awesome. You got commitment. All right, guys. Thanks for showing up. It's late. I know I was gonna let you go, but there's one story I wanted to tell about. So today, last story, and I'll let everyone go, about pushing. I was calling a guy, and I was booking for tomorrow, which I'm gonna be going out in person tomorrow, and he couldn't make it. I said, okay. And I'm never one to say, well, let's just do it next week. Again, I used to say that. I pushed it. I said, listen, I know life happens. Things can change from night to day. If the weekend is busy, I'm pretty booked. So give value to yourself. But man, I know this is important to you. Let me see if I can squeeze you into sometime today. If I can make some time work today, what time would you say would work best for you? Afternoon or evening? And we decided we're going to do a little Zoom, or actually we're going to do Zoom, or we do it over the phone. So I pushed it. He was like, no, tomorrow's not going to work, blah, blah. We get there. He was taking a trip tomorrow, so we couldn't do it tomorrow. And we go over the options. And man, when we did the financial inventory, guy made $5,000 a month. Wife made nothing. They got 2 kids, and went through the options, and we saw the whole. We were able to get him set up with coverage that protects the wife, that protects him. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. He's may go on a trip to Mexico tomorrow, and he gets in a car accident. Here's what I would say to myself. If I didn't push and the wife called me next week and said, hey, Julio's dead, Mac, I'm sorry, we can't do this, how would I feel? You see what I'm saying? That's why I push. It isn't so much about the client. I don't want to feel like I let them down. If I pushed twice, 3 times, and he said, no, Mac, if you can't do it, I'd rather the client be mad at me for trying to meet with them early, because guys, could tomorrow happen and he doesn't wake up tomorrow? Like, for real. Some of you don't realize, like, it's for real. It's happened. He can have a heart attack tomorrow. And how would you feel because you were just passive and you were like, oh, okay. All right, yeah, we'll meet tomorrow. You got to push for them. So anyway, we were able to do it. So I'm just giving you that everything we're doing. If it feels uncomfortable, it's because you're thinking about yourself. It shouldn't be uncomfortable. It should come up from a place of love. As long as you remember that, pushing will never be a problem. All right, guys, we're going to end there. We'll see you guys. Take charge next week. Come back, and I'm going to ask some of you this week if you would share one of the 10 cores, so be prepared for the assignment. Until then, guys, take care. We'll see you guys next week. Good night.